We good? Can you hear
Ah,
me? Can you hear me?
what up? Yeah. What's up,
All right,
man?
man. Chilling. What's good?
It's an honor having you on here, brother. Seriously.
Man, it's an honor to be honored, man. I'm happy to be here.
Man, mind if I give you an intro?
Go for it. Do your thing.
For those that don't know this brother Rico, um, an amazing musician, you know, not only does he have the band Season Desist, he was also in another amazing group called Negro Terra. Rest in peace to Omar Higgins. Um, and shouts to you and Raid. Yep. See that logo? See the logo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
Memory
sir.
eternal to that brother. And thank you guys, man. Seriously. I remember the first time I saw Negro Terror was on the video. And, I'm from LA, Long Beach area, and I had friends that were skins. I never got involved in that.
Mm.
Still punk rock or whatever. So, I was used to seeing black skins as well as like other different kind of skins that, weren't on, that stuff,
Mm.
Um, but it's still really not really known, like with a lot of people think all skins are, those types.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool, even though like I've known black skins and I've seen, black skins in bands, but just in this day and age, you don't see that too much, And even back then it was still kind of people tripped off of that. So seeing Omar just representing you guys rocking madness, man, it was just like, wow, this is dope, like really cool stuff, man. And how was that even coming into that? I have to ask.
Yo. All right. So funny story. Like I got the whole skinhead education through Omar because like the first time he said it on stage, he was like, "Yeah, we're Negro Terror, hardcore, Memphis, da da da, skinhead." I was like, "Yo, skinhead!" I got these long dreads and shit, and I'm like, I'm like, "Yo, what?" And so then he broke it down for me. He broke down the history and everything, told me about the sharps and all that, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I can rock with this then." All right, I didn't know. So it was a
Yeah.
trip. I ain't gonna lie. Like off the back, like coming from the I guess the layman's background of like skinhead equals racist. It was a trip to learn that yet again some more shit that got stolen from black people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. You know what's the
So
trip
that was
about
kind of
that?
cool.
A lot of the media helped with that, unfortunately, like,
Yeah.
and I remember the first time I saw a non-racist skinhead on TV was actually either Oprah or Geraldo. It was a talk show, but they had those other dudes on stage, and it was just like, you know, like, why are these guys even getting platformed? They're not even like the real origins of that history. And if you really look at it, and I'm not gonna say that some of that stuff didn't exist then, but that scene, that whole subculture was an amalgamation of actually like, white British youth being influenced by like a lot of black like culture, especially
Right.
when it comes into Afro Caribbean's culture and even Black American soul. Like they were post mods, like
Hmm.
and it's just a trip, so it's always been that. And unfortunately, even through that, you have brothers and sisters that were in stuff like, I mean, they were a part of that early UK scene, like whether they were punks, I'm sure like just, the whole rude boy thing that had a lot to do with it. And just thinking about it is just like, wow, dude, like the guy from Bad Manners was talking about it, talking about basically like that didn't start races. And so these guys, I mean, that's why they formed that rock against racism thing, because
Yeah.
people were getting it twisted. They thought all these skins were, and that was actually like I would say a political group that influenced that whole Nazi thing, like National Front, BNP, all that stuff. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like, they kind of took from that culture and just, you know, they, they, they infiltrated. I'll just say that.
Yeah. They
So it was,
bastardized.
yep, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
man,
a trip.
it was so cool to hear you guys on that and just shoot, like just I'm like, wow, some brothers are still representing, like out here where I'm from, like at least the area that I'm from, you'll find more traditional skins. I won't say that they're sharp, but they're more traditional, and you'll find all kinds, like white, black,
Oh,
Hispanic,
and
Asian.
just to be clear, I'm not a skin.
Oh, I know.
Just to make sure I don't misrepresent myself real quick.
Yeah,
I fuck with him though. I fuck with him though. So just go ahead and
yeah.
just for anybody watching, it's like, yo, what did he say he was good? I ain't say
I'm not a
that.
fan either, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
know the history and culture, like,
right.
but yeah, it was just cool to see Omar still repping, like, especially and from Memphis too. Like, I didn't really hear of too many bands from Memphis. I know like maybe a few, very few punk bands from there, but it's not like, I'll be honest, I don't know too many. And you guys were like, like one that really stood out. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
you know,
We only got a few here, and Memphis is a big, soul R&B hip hop town, gospel town. So,
yes,
the punk scene that is here is kind of, I mean, it's small, it's small. It's a lot of people, kind of just I don't know how to describe it because you got like the older punks that's like from they were like out in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. And then you got like my generation and it's a whole I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, it's only it's not too many of us, especially of color. So, it felt good to be able to represent the city for that,
yeah, you
in
guys
that way.
ripped real good. I mean, it's a trip even with Memphis because you guys were like, some of the origins of like, how could I say this? Rock and roll, like has a bunch of different origins as we cover on this page a lot. When it comes to Black American culture, but Memphis is really important because these race records. It's almost like, I mean, I have my opinions about Sam Phillips, but Sun Records really kind of help. Sorry, really help
Nah,
cross things,
I get it, believe me.
you know, cross things over in that sense. Even though I could talk about other stuff with that, but the first, I guess people would say Rocket '88 was like the
Yeah,
first rock recording. Yeah, we could talk about
absolutely.
things that came before that, Louis Jordan, Rosetta Tharpe, but that
Right.
was one of the ones that was first known, like Ike Turner's Rocket '88, and it was recorded in Memphis.
Yep.
Like it was, and of
I
course
used
you
to
got
live up
that.
the street from that studio.
Wow, far
Yeah,
out.
which is it's funny to people because like people when they come to Memphis they realize Memphis is like that big. So, people say it's big, but like everything's like 15, 20 minutes away. You're always 15, 20 minutes away from like some historical something from music something or other. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
Yeah.
downtown, whether it be Royal Studios or American Studios or what's my man, Al Green's church and all types of stuff. So
Man.
yeah,
Have you ever been to Al Green's church?
I have not attended a service, but I have been there. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
dope, man. Man,
I've been in certain spots in that church that I can't tell people about, but it was pretty cool. Let's just put it like that.
that's cool, man. Man, that's a trip. I forgot he was a pastor, man. Like, man, brother, Pastor Al Green, man. Like, yeah, and that's another thing that Stax, man. Like, I love
Yeah.
Motown. Don't get me wrong, man, but Stax just had that gritty, raw. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dang.
It's the horns versus strings thing.
Yeah,
Like
oh, I
we
didn't
had
think
the
about that.
horns like crazy. Like that the horn sections down here was nuts, but then you listen to Motown, you got a lot more strings going on. But both are amazing to me. I definitely love and
Oh yeah,
appreciate both. But as a Memphian, yeah.
heck yeah. And then you guys also got something that, I know horrorcore didn't really start there, but what you guys like 3 6 Mafia,
It kind of did.
huh?
Yeah, we I mean most hardcore artists from my understanding trace it back to 3-6.
Wow. See, I'm from the
So
era where they were talking about the Ghetto Boys, but also we had out here in LA, we had Insane Poetry. In New York, Chino
true,
XL, the
true.
group Art of
Right.
Origin, you know, and I mean,
Y'all
yeah,
had
it's
Brother
it's.
Lynch Young too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him,
Y'all had
man.
Brother Lynch Young too, and that man's
I
crazy.
forgot about that.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Spiderman.
man. I mean, yeah, but 3 6 Mafia kind of carved the whole niche. And when I was about to get to that, I wasn't taking that away from you guys at all. You guys like that was a whole different kind of horrorcore that made its own kind of footprint that was really deep. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah, once you like the original, the old records were like super satanic, but like once they started getting more towards like the dope boy aesthetic, that's when shit really popped off.
man, yeah,
At
it's
least in my eyes, anyway. Other people would probably have different opinions, but like when that shit hit national is when this shit got like when it was like cool. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was like listening to death metal on rap. You know, like I mean,
Yeah,
Esham too. You know, like Esham. You know, 3 6 Mafia, Insane Poetry. You know, old Chino XL Art of Origin. Like that's just like
hmm
well, it was different. You know,
yeah,
like
shit was wild. It was like these guys are different.
man,
It's funny because like in the '90s, I was in Atlanta, so I was more around the Dungeon Family esque
heck
era and
yeah,
all that Lil Jon era. And so when I moved to Memphis in the early 2000s, because I was born here, it was definitely a trip going from like super cool, swag, money, this and that, and then like just the grittiness
man.
and just the of Memphis. Like it's a whole different beast, man. It's a whole different
Man.
beast.
Shoot, you mentioned the dungeon. I mean, Goody Mob. What's of course,
hmm
Outkast. Like, I have to ask you, and I read that you were originally from Georgia. I have family on like my mom's side. Like my mom's originally from there, you know, um and I have to ask, like, even mentioning that, and it's going to get into something else too. How did that shape you as a musician? And I guess I'm kind of going to do what I told myself I wouldn't do, your origin story, because I always end up asking two questions at the same time because I'm
That's
overexcited about
cool. That's
interviewing
cool.
brothers and
Nah,
sisters.
man, that's cool. Honestly, having that Atlanta and Memphis influence, like Atlanta teaches you how to hustle. Atlanta teaches you how to appeal to certain demographics, and it's more of a political thing down there. But at the same time, like I was in band down there, and but this is all before they started taking band and stuff out of all the schools and all that stuff. Like I played horns, I sang in choir, I did the whole thing. Then I moved here for high school, and that's when I picked up that guitar. And as soon as I
Mm,
picked up that guitar, it was over because like I already had the singing I already had the singing part down. So and then being in Memphis, home of the blues, all that good stuff, you got a lot of, this is a guitar town. Like you throw a dime, somebody play guitar. Like it's crazy. Like the same way you can find like rappers in Atlanta, you can find guitarists and bassists and keyboardists and drummers in Memphis, and they're all busy because they're either all playing at a church or they're playing downtown or they got their own thing going on. You know, but both of those influences like kind of helped shape how I get down. Just I mean, I was around a whole bunch of music, and I was never just on one thing. I was always on a little bit of everything. I was on a little bit of underground, a little bit of mainstream, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So like I'm not one of those like guys in a band that's like I listened to punk since I was 5 years old. It's like, nah, man, I totally went through the '98 boy band era. Like it is what it is. But
that's
like
awesome.
But at the same time, it's like you learn how to songwrite, listen to that shit
Yep.
because that shit was catchy. Even if you
Yeah.
hated it, you knew the words. So like, all right, cool. I got that in me, and then all of a sudden I got all rebellious and really what shot it off for as far as what I'm doing now was crazy enough the Godzilla soundtrack in '98.
Mm.
Because the Godzilla soundtrack you got of course you got freaking the Diddler on there
Yeah.
with
Led Zeppelin.
yeah, dude from Led Zeppelin on there, which
Yeah.
is that I'm a little hood kid, Puff Daddy. All right, cool, boom, I'm in there. And then you just listen to the rest of the CD. You got Silverchair on there. You got Green Day on there. You got Rage Against the Machine on there. That's the one that did it for me. And then I go to
Mm.
my uncle in Atlanta. I go to his house and I'm like 9 years old. I'm like tripping out about it. And he's like, "Oh, you dig that?" And he hands me Evil Empire. And oh, this is shit that I know about. Like I'm listening to the song and I'm like, this is stuff that I've heard the people around me in circles say. Because like I went to like a Pan African church for a while, so like you hear about like the revolution and this and that and that. And you hear a lot of that talk. And now I'm hearing this shit in a record that is hip hop, but it ain't at the same time. And like it sounds like there's a DJ there, and then like years later, I find out there's no fucking DJ at all. This is
It's
all a guy
him.
with a
It's fun.
guitar. And my uncle fucked me up with this. He was like, the guitarist and the lead singer are mixed, and I was like, oh, I'm mixed. Look, I could do that, even though obviously we all look black as hell because we are.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
it was one of those things that as a child, when you're told that you're different, and then there's some other people that look like you that do it too. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me do that. I want to do that. Even though I already had the singing thing down, I was already, I still to this day love Drew Hill. I don't care what nobody says. I'll sing the shit out of some Drew Hill if it comes on. But
Nothing wrong with that. That's all
yeah,
us.
but this is, we live in angry times and we need angry music.
The
Crazy
thing
enough,
that
Negro Terror started in 2016 when Trump got elected. So, there you go.
And nothing is wrong with that. And I just think it's cool that you do have that history and stuff. I mean, me, I play all kinds of music stuff too. Like I'm all over the place myself, so I relate. I've done, and I know you've done stuff with hip hop groups from what I've read and
Hmm.
R&B groups, but you also have done hardcore, and it's cool to see that. And shouts to I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Raid. Is that how you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it?
right,
Shouts
right,
to that brother, as well. You guys seem like you're very diverse. I got a
right.
chance to watch that beautiful documentary. I almost crying thinking about it. How did
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, bro. Um, I'm gonna segue into that, but I just wanted to give, just I think it's really cool. I teach music and I tell my students, like what makes you, even if you're into like metal or just hardcore or even just like any other music, a lot, listening to different kinds of music will make you even better in those genres of music, like,
absolutely,
and I mean,
absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, man.
Especially jazz and the blues. Those two things will
Yes.
make you better in everything. I'm just now discovering that in my 30s. So,
No, that's beautiful.
yeah,
I mean, jazz and blues, and I'll say gospel too, are the basis of all American, pop music, period.
yeah,
People
straight up
don't
and
get it.
down.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll even say punk rock, all it, because I've heard the one narrative that I can't stand, and I laugh every time. They're all, punk is the whitest form of music, and heavy metal is devoid of blues. No, it isn't. It's
Nah,
not,
none
and
of
you
that
can
is
see it.
true. Bad punk is, and shitty metal is absolutely. But that good shit, that shit you play over and over and over again. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, fuck out of here. Of course it has
yeah, it
blues
does.
influences, jazz influences, all that.
Yep,
Like
all of
them
it.
folks be grooving, man. What's his name from Cro-Mags? Harley.
Harley,
We opened up for him, man. They was bumping R&B in the damn van.
man. Yeah,
Super cool, super laid back dudes. When they got on that stage, it got brutal quick.
I've heard him reference him listening to Jackal Posterius and all that fusion
Yeah,
stuff too.
yeah,
He's
he gets
a
down,
lot of
man. He's
that
a real cool
rhythm.
dude.
Wow, that's dope. That's cool that y'all played with them, man.
Yeah, that was super great. That was like right after like the Negro Terror debacle happened, and then we became Cease and Desist, and it was like, yeah, we back at it now. Like when we got that booking, and it was on.
Man. I was gonna ask, and this is even gonna segue to even the film, like, and if it's too much, bro, like just
I guarantee I've told the story a million times. I'm used to it.
what was it like? Because I know, and I hope I'm not being disrespectful saying this. It's almost like out of the ashes, the phoenix rises. Like you and
Mhm.
Raid. How I'll be honest, it must have been kind of. Was it challenging? I can't speak. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like trying to. Was it kind of a challenge because it just it,
absolutely. The
yeah, it's
whole
pretty
the
heavy,
whole
man.
the whole situation was challenging because it really wasn't supposed to happen. Like it was and I can only speak for my thoughts, but in my head I was like, this is we're gonna continue this the best way we can. There's no reason this needs to die with our friend. And unfortunately, everybody didn't have the same thoughts. But
Huh.
me and Raid did. And so after some funkiness happened, Cease and Desist was born. And really the most difficult part about that was like not trying to sound like my friend, not trying to write like my friend. Because you know that's what I was used to for so long was like I followed up behind Omar. Like Omar wrote the songs, we wrote our shit off of what he wrote. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he introduces a bass line and he you know mouths a drum pattern and he tells me he wants to chug here and a chug there and a chug every you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And so going from that to okay, you gotta write this shit now, and you can't write it the same way you write your other stuff. Because your other stuff is a little more formulaic because of you know the genre that it is. So you gotta not so much think like them, but you got to just get more in your hardcore bag and figure out your voice basically. And figure out my voice two times. Figure out my voice on guitar and my voice on just the vocals and everything and how we were going to do that. And luckily, I was, you know, pissed enough, as all punk rockers are when they're writing their music, either pissed or sad. So I had a lot of good fuel and I had a lot of good riffs I just had like sitting in my computer and never got used and I just started putting stuff together and just piecing stuff one by one and next thing you know we got the cease and desist letter and it was on from there and once people started seeing that we was outside again and they were wondering oh my god you know because with Negro Terror like after a certain amount of time like everything started disappearing from online because of the unfortunateness with his brother and all that stuff. He kind of
Sorry.
took over the name and everything, and he trademarked everything, started doing all types of funky shit, and that's where Cease and Desist comes from.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask where that name came from.
So it was gonna be Cease and Desist, but I looked that up, and there's a Canadian cover band called Cease and Desist. So of course, me being Mr. Brooding motherfucker, I was like, uh, what sounds like cease? And it was like seize. It was like seize. The band got taken from us. It got seized from us. Oh
Wow,
shit.
very clever.
We're going crazy with it. Then it just happened to also be the acronym for that would be sad. And I'm like, oh, that's nuts.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't.
that's crazy.
I didn't even.
Yeah,
I'm not.
this is what
I
happens
don't
when I'm
mean to laugh.
high and petty.
That's
No,
crazy. I didn't
laugh,
even,
please laugh.
dude. I didn't even think about that.
Because you're not supposed to, because it's only something my little silly sad boy ass would think about. So I started doing that, and it was such the perfect name for something that was still gonna be a rebellious move, regardless. Because
Oh,
like, because what messed it up was what was funny. The only the only reason we really changed the name from like because we were gonna do the Negro Terror, and then that became a whole thing, and I just didn't want to spend no money on all that shit. So once we had it in writing that we could play the old Negro Terror songs, we just couldn't play it as Negro Terror. Once we had that like in a legal letter, it was like, gotcha. We're going. Look, it's on. We got 5 new songs. We got all the other stuff that's just muscle memory at this point. Man, let's go. You know what I mean? It was on from there.
yeah. I'm glad that you guys like, because especially after losing a friend like that, and just it's kind of heavy, bro. Like just to
Yeah.
even, and I'm glad that you guys are even playing the songs. It's a heavy thing, man. Like when you lose one of the homies, like and you're
Yeah.
in a band with them, like just like I mean, that's you know,
It's heavy, man. It's like losing family. It's like
yeah,
I would not say it is losing family because I've lost a lot of family, and yeah, but it's about the closest thing you can get outside of no, it's about the closest thing you can get. Yeah,
yeah, I
because
hear
we were
you.
locked in for a long time, and it was so unfortunate how it happened, and yeah, it and crazy enough, like we had so much planned after that. Like I'll send you a link later, but like there was a whole record that never got released. You know,
Wow,
there was a whole record that never got released. We had a whole like little Carolinas almost East Coast thing, like the southern. I call it the southern East Coast, like Virginia on down. We had like a whole thing of like run with that, like um showing the movie, and we were supposed to be like playing that like as a tour, and so
man,
much stuff got put off. And then after he passed, I had all these grandiose ideas of making scholarships and shit like that, but then all that got put in the trash as soon as the unfortunates happened.
I'm so
So
sorry,
it's
man.
it was what it was, but unfortunately that's the story of a lot of bands. It's the story of a lot of musical acts. It's a friend of mine's dad he's a DJ in Atlanta. When I told him the story, he was like, "Welcome to the music business." He's
Wow,
like, you got fucked over your first time. Welcome. You're now officially a part of the music industry.
man,
I was laughing so hard. I was like, well, part of the game, you know what I'm saying? You sell drugs, you go to jail, you get in the music industry, you're gonna get fucked a couple times. It
jeez,
just is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it taught me a good lesson on what to cover as far as my legalities.
man, that's a heavy thing. But hey, I'm glad that you guys stuck to your guns, bro. Like seriously, and
Yeah.
like you made something different. I'm sure Omar, would be mad cool like with what you guys are even doing now because even your voice stands alone too. Like I'm like, dude, when I saw you, and it's weird because how I met you, I didn't realize that you were in a band until like until I saw you play on there, and then I'm researching like, wait, that's him. You cut your dreads and everything,
Yeah.
and we met because of that conversation that we were talking about, and just um, just us being black, and just some of the things that some of us that might feel rejected, you know,
Hmm.
um, that kind of fall out of consciousness, or they just kind of, how could I say it? They feel maybe rejected by our own at times, and they feel like they don't have that community. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm glad. I love, and we're gonna get into that documentary. I saw just you guys mention certain things, and I know that you guys also work in the community, so you have like that balanced way of looking at things, and it's a beautiful thing just to see that. I wish for the ones that don't feel that way, and I'm
Hmm.
not demonizing brothers and sisters that are, but
Yeah.
I've I've unfortunately have talked to a few that are kind of on that, but I realize that hey, you know what, God gives us all grace. Not to
Yeah.
say that we tolerate any of the madness, but at the same time, like you were saying, we don't have to be freaking tap dancing like that.
Right. Right. Like I think there's like different types of I hate to use the word black alt people, but
Yeah,
like black alt people, blurs, whatever you want to call
quote
niggas
unquote.
that's different, whatever. Like you got different kinds. You got people that's like generally different that had bad experiences, probably within their family,
Yeah,
within their, third places, outside of school or home. Like you got people like that that just, they're new to having a community that looks like them. And unfortunately, a lot of the community that looks like them also had the same experiences. And so they can kind of bounce anti-blackness off each other. Like I've definitely done it with other black people in the punk spaces and in the metal spaces back in the day, and in goth spaces when I was in like high school and stuff. Like we all participated in it to one degree or another,
mm,
but it's just a matter of somebody showing you, and it usually has to be somebody you respect or like somebody in your life. Like you gotta love somebody black. You know what I'm saying? A cousin, you know what I'm saying? Mama, daddy, something.
yeah,
And luckily we have the internet as well, so you have a wealth of knowledge from all these different other like you can go the black academic route. You know, like I always say, like you got the FD signifiers on YouTube, and then you got like Lil Bills on YouTube, and like you
What
get a
little
really
bro?
good. You got that's like a really good like go between. You got like mad
Yeah,
academic dudes got like a PhD and everything, and then you got like dude from the block. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
like you, it has to. You have to have that balance, and a lot of us don't get that balance because we feel so rejected by our own that we sequester ourselves off into these quote unquote white spaces.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and that's not.
and then we get our feelings hurt eventually. Like shit, I definitely have been in rooms where I heard racist jokes and I didn't say shit about it and I laughed. You know what I mean? And it was a nervous laugh.
I
It was
understand.
it was a laugh nonetheless though. And it's like, okay, you know, I definitely done gave people N-word passes before that, you know, now in my 30s I didn't have to take back. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, that was high school, my guy. We are grown as hell now. Need you to not do that. And I think if a lot more of us, especially those of us in our like later 30s, 40s, 50s, if we were more truthful about the anti-blackness that we not only displayed but are still working through, I think a lot of the younger ones would kind of be like, huh, maybe I should look into this in myself. Those that are, you know, going to care, because there's going to be the little rebellious ones that just want to be edgy and just want to be little. I look at, they're like, they're like tantamount to like black capitalists. Like they just want to be the oppressor. You know what I mean? Like they just really want to be the edgy black dude that pisses off black people. And it's like, like I think we were talking earlier about like the Myron Gaineses of the world and shit like that, like
Lauren Lane. Yeah, I said it.
super boo ass niggas, you know what I mean? But like
Red Ill.
the
I said it.
the well actually crowd, like those people, they'll figure it out on their own fucking time. Most of them
Yeah,
won't, and they'll just continue to divulge into these black space. No matter how much grace we give them, they will still be like, okay, well, you're one of the good ones. And it's like, bitch, all right. You know, it's like,
yeah.
you just got to give
I'll
up
be
on it.
honest. I have to correct myself, and I'm gonna emphasize this. I don't mind being graceful with cats if they're gonna pay heed, but if cats are gonna double down on that,
I mean,
and
yeah,
I
if you don't double
recently did
down, like,
this.
you can get to it in your own time. If you want to double down, I'm not
Yeah,
going to argue with you, but I will, I have no problem holding us accountable because
yeah.
I want to be held just as accountable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If I say some anti-black shit that just happens to slip out, please hold me accountable. Please point it out. Please say something so I don't go around doing that shit again. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? Like,
It's
because I'm
definitely a
not going to sit here and
community
act
thing.
perfect. You know, I'm not going to sit
Oh
here and
no,
act
no,
like, oh no, it's embedded in all of us from birth. Like that's how you
no.
live black in America. You shit, we half the time we're more afraid of us than we are the people that's fucking us.
That's sad, man.
I was just talking about that in my job today, but it is what it is. So you have to move accordingly, and you just have to kind of remember sometimes, like, all right, let me do a little bit more of an evaluation on this person before I
Yeah.
either decide to give or not give them
Yep.
space and grace.
Oh
Because, like
yeah.
you said, everybody don't deserve that shit. Everybody, some people really can just get fucked.
No, I'm
But
on the same page. I just wanted to let you know, like, like me giving a person grace isn't giving them a license to just be
no,
anti-black on that. Like just to make that clear.
it's explanations, not
Yeah.
excuses. Like I can
Yeah.
explain it by, okay, here's the anti-blackness that was introduced to you as a child and it grew into you and da da da. That's the explanation. I'm not giving you an excuse because you're
Yeah.
grown. You're
Exactly.
grown, and if you don't know better, I'm going to hold you accountable now. So now you do
Hmm.
know better, and now you
Yep.
have the choice to go either A, let me fix this, let me do something about this, let me do some studying, let me do some reading, let me do some soul searching, or you can go B, well,
Yeah.
actually, and then it's like, you got it, bro, whatever.
Yeah.
Because all those people end up
Yep.
getting their feelings hurt eventually by these white
And
folks that they herald so much.
hmm. Yep. It's a trip, man.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And yet again, I say that as a person that got my feelings hurt by my
Wow.
daddy.
Wow.
So, hey, it happens to those that are watching and think that I'm bullshitting. Nah,
No,
happened to me too, bro.
man.
Everybody gets their Negro wake up call eventually. If you ain't already woke up enough, even
Yep.
if you fall asleep, they gonna wake you back up eventually. They gonna
Real
wake you back
talk,
up. If it
man.
ain't one way, it's gonna be the other, homie. I guarantee it.
Man. And it's good to be woke, man. And people
Yeah.
get that twisted too, you know. And it's just
Mhm.
being conscious. That's all. Even when like that term's older than us, you know. Our people been using it,
Absolutely.
and it's all about being conscious and just like cats got it twisted on what it means, and it's good, you know. Like I'm still on, like my parents pretty much they instilled on me about a lot of stuff, but again, like I had to kind of navigate myself. It's like we're all learning, you know. But even I have to ask this, like with that, how did this movie? Not to get off the subject, but kind of the
Mhm.
segue into it. I was gonna ask this too. How did
Yeah.
the documentary even come together, man?
Yo, so it was the craziest shit in the world, and you gonna laugh. All right, so we're playing shows, we're getting our name out there. I'm going to shows and passing out stickers. People are seeing Negro Tear. They're seeing this shit that looks like a totem comp, which
Yeah, I was gonna
is,
ask. You know what?
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was gonna actually ask you that off the interview because I didn't want to.
No, 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 no. We'll go
I thought
into
I
it. No,
was
no,
the
no.
only one that.
Because this was Omar's idea. Omar's idea was the Totenkopf idea, but to just make it not that. Like his whole thing was just poking fun at Nazis
Yeah,
and poking fun at white supremacists. That was his whole thing was like, number one, show little black kids they can do this shit too. Number two, piss off Nazis. Like that was the band plan. End of fucking story. Because
man.
like even the name Negro Terror comes from the old well shit, you saw the movie, you know what's up.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep. Oh, I knew. I knew.
and if you're watching and you haven't seen the movie, you should watch it
You
and
should
figure out
watch
where
it.
Negro Terror
It's a
comes
great,
from. Ha ha
beautiful
ha.
documentary. Yep.
I won't give all the things away, but
We're gonna talk about it though, because I mean,
yeah.
but yeah,
But
I'll be
so it
honest.
came. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna ask you that, but off camera,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to
No,
like
no,
put
no,
you
no.
in a gotcha thing. Like, not that I would mean to do that, but like, I'm glad you said it.
There's nothing that you can ask me about Negro Terror or Season Desist that I would be embarrassed to tell you because we ain't did shit. Wrong.
Man,
So yeah, if you got a
wow.
question, I got to answer. But back to the movie idea. So we're just playing shows, we're doing our thing, and all of a sudden this dude named John Rash, the director, he comes to one of the shows, and his idea was just to do like a little. He was just gonna do like a little 5 minute thing because he was putting this thing together called the Southern Punk Archive, and so it kind of just grew from that. And at first, Omar didn't want to do it because Omar's like, I don't know this white dude. He's from Mississippi. He works at the University of Mississippi. He says he's from North Carolina. Da, da, da. We're all like mad, like suspicious of folks because of
Yeah.
like Omar's position in the community and like how he got down back in the day with fighting Nazis and shit. Like he's on like websites and shit. Like them folks. I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure there were some folks that was happy when what happened to him happened to him. So,
Wow.
we don't know who the hell this guy is. But I thought to myself, as me thinking like how to get our name bigger, I was like, this is about the closest we gonna get to reparations ever. This guy wants to do like a free thing, right? And he's gonna shoot it professionally, and like this is just free promotion. We're never gonna get this from anybody. And he's from Mississippi. Come on, fuck on, man. Like, so I was sitting there like, in my head, I'm like, we finna get this guy. Like, we finna get everything we can out of this guy. We had no idea this was gonna turn into a documentary that won film awards and stuff like that. Like, we was not looking. We wasn't looking for that. In all honesty, this wasn't something we didn't pay him to do this stuff. This was all his idea. He just
Wow.
was like, yo, I like this stuff. I want to do the feature on this. And then the feature became a feature length. And that's basically how it happened. Like he was just following us around and we showed him the town. I drove him around Memphis, and we got some good B-roll, and Raid did the music for it. So like, it was all us, like 100,000%. And man, I was literally just talking to him today. So like, he's like a friend at this point, and
That's awesome.
damn near part of the band. But but yeah, that's how it happened, man. Just a guy came out of nowhere and was like, I think this shit is cool.
It's just a trip, and I'm so glad you guys did it, especially because of, as we know, Omar's not here anymore, but
Hmm.
I'm so glad that you guys you know, documented that. And it's literally everybody, if you have not seen the Negro Terra documentary, you need to check that out. It's a must see. It's definitely like a recommend, like as far as like just if you not only wanted to know about like the band, but also like them as an individual people, as well as like the scene that they come from and the city that they come from. I could say a lot more, but I'm gonna let you guys check it out. And what's up? I see Culture Rock Griot, my sister in rock. Um,
Ayo,
Sam, you know her. I know.
Delaware in the house.
That's right. And we got a lot of brothers and sisters over here too that are watching. Shouts to all of you guys, man. Um, there's a lot of names, so I'm just giving you guys a general shout. What's that shirt? Tell us. Show
Oh,
us.
oh, this is the exclusive 3-6 Memphis joint.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, everybody ain't got these. You gotta be special
That's
at work.
dope.
Yeah.
Man, that's so
A friend of mine
cool.
actually bought it for me.
Wow.
Oh wait, hold up. I gotta show the back too. Hold up. Got it. 3-6, huh?
Represent.
Yeah, yeah.
Man. So, like, what are you guys working on now, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, we have new singles that will be dropping throughout the year. Last year we dropped the Leopard song, which was a version of an original song that this lady named Francesca Ramsey, I believe. I'm probably I know her IG name is Cheska Lee. I don't know. She's really super talented screenwriter, super talented comedian person. She's awesome. Definitely go follow her. Shout out to her for letting us do it, because I definitely asked her for permission first. Because I just loved it, because I kept on hearing this song and this lady with this beautiful voice singing it. I never thought leopards would eat my face. Oh, and I'm like, yo, what if we did a punk version of that?
That's
And I hit her up, and she was like, "Oh my God, yes, do it!" Da, da, da. And so we did it. So, and that's available for free on our Bandcamp. Uh, just go ahead and download it, bang it wherever you at. But yeah, we got all types of visuals, all types of stuff that's been written that is we're in the middle of either producing or mixing or mastering. There's a lot of stuff that is cooking at the moment. The bread has not risen yet, but it is in the oven. I can say that.
Man, glad you guys are rocking that madness, man. You know
Yeah.
what? Before I forget, I have to ask this, and it has something to do with a song that, and you mentioned earlier how like you guys pretty much did a lot of things like the logo to kind of poke fun at Nazis. I can't stand Screwdriver, but I love the fact that you flipped it. Y'all flipped their song.
Another classic Omar story. Yet again, all Omar, man. This dude was
That's
all
dope.
about to fuck these Nazis, man. And because I didn't know shit about no screwdriver.
Man, I
I didn't know
can't.
nothing about none of that shit. He was like, "Yo, so it's this racist ass band named Screwdriver, right?" And I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "So this what we gonna do with these two songs?" I'm like, "Hmm." And then when he tells me he's like, basically what we did with the logo, we're gonna do with these songs. And I'm like, I'm with it. Let's go. Like, because I'm all about pissing off white supremacists too. So
Yeah,
everything he's saying, I'm like, we are gonna piss off so many white supremacists. This is gonna be great. Oh my,
man,
like to the point where like we definitely got death threats. So
that's crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
insane.
definitely got them, because I think my number was the only one that was like public at the time.
What the
And
hell?
so, yeah, I definitely got a couple of death threats and had to, unfortunately, call some law enforcement because I am a taxpayer.
Yeah.
Even though it
No,
still ain't
use that
CNN on
right,
that side,
homie.
but I know if I pop one of them, they're gonna be upset. So I'm gonna let them do their job.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that they had like one of your guys' videos like flagged or something like that because of that.
I think it was well, all right, so one of those videos got flagged by YouTube because it had like Nazi stuff in it. And at
Oh,
that time, and at first they only blocked it in like certain countries, and they were all like Eastern Bloc, ex Axis power countries. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. No problem. And then they blocked the whole shit from like every country. And I'm like, huh? And
it's
then
like,
I went back and looked at like terms and conditions and stuff for that. And I was like, oh, I added in this part right here, this part right here. I made it available for all ages. Da, da, da. It was like little bitty stuff
oh.
that I did wrong, being brand new into doing the stuff. I ain't know what I was doing.
But it's not
So
like you guys were promoting it. You guys are doing like what the History Channel's, and if anything, you guys were spitting venom at it, which was
yeah,
good, you
it
know.
was comparison stuff, but you got to know how to do, and I'll definitely make this a super point to any musician watching this. You got to know how to do the marketing part too. And you have to know how to do it the right way so your shit does not get taken down, so your shit
Yeah.
doesn't get removed, so it doesn't get flagged, so it doesn't, so you don't end up getting kicked off of anything. And just there's hella videos about it too, so like you can go look up this stuff on YouTube that will show you like how to avoid getting your channel removed. And like the cease and desist channel got removed somehow, and we had to
What?
go post. Yeah, we had to go post a new one. It was wild. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. Luckily we still had the old Negro Terror channel, so I just flipped that one, and now it is what it is. um
That's not cool. What the
yeah,
heck?
YouTube's finicky, bro, especially when you black. So,
Oh yeah, I know. I
you
have
already
another
know.
channel that I'll just
Yeah,
say about shadow bans. Shouts to Lisa Cabrera for helping me get back on. And that's a whole different channel than what we're doing right now.
yeah. So it can get funky real quick. So yeah, if you're a musician and you're doing video stuff too, know what you're posting. Know what TikTok wants versus IG versus Facebook versus YouTube, because you can do different shit different places and get you a Patreon so you can do whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, we're working on ours too. I ain't got nothing to offer nobody, so I was like, well, I'm gonna get a Patreon. I ain't got shit to offer. But when we got shit to offer, oh, Patreon's popping up. Because I
So
got shit
hey,
to say that they don't want me to say on YouTube.
oh, I know firsthand. Like I literally got like one of my channels. Like I literally got kicked off, and the lady I was telling you about, who's also an amazing YouTuber, check out her content, Lisa Cabrera, helped me get back on.
Hell
They
yeah,
still
hell
shadow
yeah.
ban the heck out of me though.
They'll do it,
Not,
man, like that.
it's crazy, man. Like, but I have to ask this too. Will you guys be touring anytime soon, or and when you tour, like, are you guys ever going to, especially coming out to the West Coast?
We've been trying to make our way that way. The furthest we've made it is Denver.
Wow.
But with times as they are economically, it's difficult. So if we made, I'll be real with you, we probably wouldn't be able to make it to California probably until 2027.
I hear you.
just to just to make sure
Understand.
everything was planned the right way and everything. But we've been wanting to get out there so bad. We want to do New York and LA so bad because we have friends in both places,
Wow.
and like we want to come out so bad, but it is expensive. It is
Yeah.
expensive. And we got to make sure it makes sense for everybody, and we're still kind of sort of short of basis. So like we've got a lot of homies that's been filling in for us and they've been doing great. But we got to make sure it makes sense for everybody so nobody misses out on, bill money at the end of
Oh
the
yeah.
day.
No, especially being a musician now, man. I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it. You know.
Traveling t-shirt salesman. That's what we are. Traveling
Yeah.
t-shirt salesman. So it's like if we can get the want out there, we can get the people that's, oh yeah, we really want to see you, no, pay. Then yeah, it's going down. But we got a show in Memphis coming up, and I intend on getting us out of town here soon. But like I said, we've been working on all these visuals and recording and stuff, and just getting our lives, making sure our lives are stable. So some things had to get put off.
That's dope.
Yeah, but we definitely we're planning a lot of stuff. It's just a matter of planning and making sure that it's done correctly so that, you know, nobody has to lose a job, nobody has to spend too much money.
I hear you on
And
that, man.
yeah,
Do you have any other projects that you've been involved in? And also, I was gonna ask you, like, like as far as the hip hop stuff that you've done, like
mhm.
what artists have you worked with in that?
Man, I have worked with this one artist named Web Sticky in Memphis. I did a riff for him, and what's the song's called "Woo Run It Up," and it ended up on a show on Fox, a show on Apple TV, and the latest season of Tulsa King. So that was cool.
That's dope.
I've worked with this other cat named Robin X, who now has kind of flipped his hip hop stuff more towards the like new metal. Because you know, there's kind of like
Mm,
this slick new metal resurgence going on.
yeah,
And I always used to tell him all the time, like when we would perform with him, I'm like, bro, you're a rock star. You're not a rapper. Like you really are a rock star. And so he took that, and now he's got a really dope band behind him, a whole bunch of super talented young cats, and he's out there doing his thing. And
that's
love
dope.
him to death. Who else have I worked with? Um, oh man, this dude from Japan, this guy named Hidetaka from
Oh,
Japan. We did some stuff together. Me, him, and another friend of mine named Ryan Peel. We did some stuff together. This cat is not only a cold bassist, but just like the beats, it's nuts. It's crazy.
heck
Like
yeah.
it was super cool working with them. Um, trying to think, there has to be somebody else. Shoot. We recorded all the Cease and Desist stuff at this studio called Outer Space, which is ran by this essentially, I don't want to say it's a hip hop collective, but it's definitely a urban collective out of Memphis that's been doing a lot of big stuff. So shout out to Unapologetic and all them over there. We've got some we got a collabo with one of their artists coming later on this year, so that'll be fun.
That's dope.
Uh, I'm trying to think if I missed anybody. Uh, no, outside of just me recording stuff that was on Dat Piff. That's all. That's about it. But
That's
yeah,
dope,
yeah.
man.
And
So
and
is that
mhm.
like a solo project that you're recording or?
I do have a I have some solo projects, but the other stuff is like me just working on beats with people, or like a producer will need a guitarist, and they'll be like, "Hey, I need this kind of sound, da da da," and I'll you know studio work stuff like that.
That's dope.
Yep.
Speaking of guitarists, I know you mentioned Tom Morello, and I've
Mhm.
read about some of the other interesting names. Can you actually like list any other guitarist or musician that has had like an impact or an influence on you? You know?
Okay, so outside of Tom Morello, George Benson probably is one of the biggest
Oh,
influences.
wow, yeah,
And the
that
funny
dude's
thing is, I
cold.
didn't realize it for years because it was just like, you know, like the music that's on when you're in the car with your parents,
Yeah,
and you're like, you're not paying attention to it, but you know what radio station they listen to, and you know, like certain songs, you'll know the words to them, but you don't know the name of the song, you don't know the artist. You're just like, you know, this they say the neon lights are bright. Like you don't
that
know
song popped in my
that's
head right
George
when you said it.
Benson, you know, or just give me the night,
Ooh,
you know, any of that. Like I'm not realizing until I get older and I start, you know, getting into my own and playing guitar and stuff, and I start realizing how many George Benson songs is really another reason why I started playing guitar. Like, of
wow,
course, when I got into high school, and like that was when like the grunge resurgence happened, and so for a lazy high schooler, that's an easy thing to go grab a guitar and just like play Smells Like Teen Spirit and like learn power chords and just go there. And then I get into college and I get around all these like mad talented ass dudes, like my homeboy Ping that plays bass for us sometimes. He is like virtuoso. He went, when did he go last year? He released a record and it went like 48 on the blues charts or 42, something like that. He was top 50 for a second. I don't know if it was like a week or so, but that's how cold he is.
That's so dope.
So yeah, getting around him, I for a hot second I was around Eric Gales, who is like the best guitarist in the world from Memphis. And so, like that guy is that guy make you want to put your guitar down. Either that or pick it up and practice, one of the two.
That's awesome.
But yeah, but yeah, definitely George Benson. Um, I happened to end up accidentally becoming really good friends with Kari Wynn, who plays guitar for Public Enemy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, he's from Memphis. He's from Memphis. I actually went to high school with his little brother.
Whoa.
And so becoming friends with him, he's taught me a lot of stuff. Like he him and my friend Ping were the ones to like really get in my ass about starting to solo on records. They were
Mm.
like, dude, you know how to do this shit, just do it. Ah! Yes. But yeah, so Kari definitely had an influence. But I'd say just out of the people that everybody knows, definitely George Benson and Tom Morello and honestly, Jerry Cantrell.
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
big Alice in Chains fan.
That's
Big
dope.
Alice in Chains fan. The first songs I learned with real actual chords and not just power chords was Nutshell and
Mm.
Rooster.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
It's always like interesting to find out like what inspires cats to do what they
Oh,
do when it comes to this.
also a pinch of Jade from AFI. Love me some AFI.
Oh, wow.
Love me some AFI. Thank you, Tony Hawk, for making that game.
That's so cool.
Introducing me to AFI.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
cool. Do you feel this probably I know it's getting late there, but I got a few things to ask. Like, do you feel especially like just, when it comes to like black people in rock and roll, do you feel like it's like the time is just like there's a lot more of us involved in this music than we have in the last like probably
Absolutely.
50 years. I've been seeing a great resurgence, and it's like I
Yeah.
tend to try to post a lot of it. I'm like, I'm glad this is happening, and I'm just curious, like, just what do you think this will be even for the future of not only like a lot of brothers and sisters now, but the recognition for all the ones that came before us. That's one of the reasons I started this page. Sorry,
I
like
think that we
long-winded with my
gotta
question.
no, I think that it's going in the same places that a lot of underground things that become popular go to, which is, you got your goods and your bads. You got your super gimmicky, look how black this is punk, and then you got just like the organic shit. Everything has its place, I believe, because like I'm one of those people that's like, if they can do it, why can't we? You know what I mean? So like
Exactly.
it, do your thing. That's my whole thing. And as far as like folks from before getting the recognition, thank God we got the internet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As unfortunate as it can be, because it seems like people don't read anymore. But at the same time, like that's a whole setup. That's a whole thing. But I think like the way like Tina Bell is getting her flowers nowadays, like people I didn't even know about when I started playing guitar. Um, and all the other sisters at a Tharp and like all the people that deserve the credit are getting the credit now. And for those that aren't doing it as some sort of like performative phase, it's gonna be really great to see what they do with the music.
Yeah. Hold on, all right?
I
Don't
like
go
what I'm
anywhere.
seeing with that.
I'm so sorry. Like we had
You
just
good?
I didn't want the what was going on in the other room to kind of affect it. But no, I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
man. I didn't realize the door wasn't closed.
Nah, you fine, you fine. I didn't even hear. But yeah, no, it's I think it's going in the same direction that everything like it's the same thing as like when comic books got popping real hard, and like when anime became really popular in the black community. Like it's just like everything else. Like you're gonna have a little bit of everything, and that's what we need. That's what we deserve. And I can't wait to see the bands that come out of this acceptance. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
especially with folks being able to go, like, you could say it in the 90s, but then somebody would have to go look it up and had to go through an encyclopedia and some more shit. And some of that stuff you couldn't even find. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, some of that stuff was just straight up buried in somebody's basement until like
Yep.
2006. You know, so the, since we have this wealth of knowledge now, nobody can take away rock from us anymore. You
Nope.
can't
Not
call
at
it white
all.
boy shit anymore. You can call it weirdo shit. You can call it nerdy shit. You can call it um alt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I really hate that shit.
No,
But it's because
I
it's my
understand. Trust
I
me.
run off a logical brain and I don't be understanding what the
Nah,
basic
nah,
shit
bro.
is.
No, don't even
But
apologize. I get it.
yeah. But
I,
like so
I
since
totally
you
get
got
it.
every bit of that, like it's gonna be like everything else. And I see it growing the same way everything else does. It's just gonna naturally evolve into what I can't wait to see is when the industry gets a hold of it for a second and what they're gonna do with it. Because
Yeah.
the underground's there, the underground ain't going nowhere. Like the streets is always gonna be there, and we've already seen like punk culture and punk aesthetics and all that being used in hip hop, whether it be in a good way, correct way, or in a way that kind of goofy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I hated that song "Party Like a Rock Star."
I
I
knew
really
you
did
were
not
gonna
like
say
that
that.
song. I really wasn't a fan of that song at all. But at
Yeah.
the same time, that shit banged out, so it was like, what you gonna do? But and then you got like Lil Wayne attempting to play guitar. Like,
Yeah.
okay. But then like on the flip side, you got Kid Rock. So, you know, it's but yeah, so I'm just happy that little black boys and girls and non-binary kids or whatever get to look at this stuff and no one go, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
nah, it's a whole bunch of examples of me doing it, and not all of them are dead.
That's
Not
right.
all of them are 70 and 80 years old. Some of them
Nope.
still look like you, teach, or it's
I,
still like you, mom,
yep.
or whoever's telling you that you can't do the shit. Like, there's too much evidence to the contrary now. Even the white folks in metal have to give it up to jazz.
Yep.
They know who made their shit now, even though a lot of them don't want to admit it, but they know what's cracking now. Everybody, you can't erase it.
No, you
You can't
can't.
erase it.
I was
It's
lucky and
about
blessed enough to have my father kind of hit me to like a lot of the stuff, and some stuff I just like a lot of what I'm even doing. Like a lot of it is even from research that I even did as a kid, getting into this stuff, and then my father, he's the one that kind of cultivated me about Funkadelic's Maggot brand, or how he went to see
mhm.
Jimi Hendrix, like in the late '60s, and telling me about the heavier stuff that the Isley Brothers did. So for me, I was blessed enough to have that, as well
Mhm.
as, I mean, my dad's buying me Living Color, like when they were big and all that. So,
Right.
but I know not everybody has that, and just in my own interest, I just studied a lot for myself. Some of these bands I didn't hear until much later, but I just knew about, like, just because I always took note of any brother and sister that I either read about or just saw in a picture, and
Mhm.
and then I'm finding out even more stuff now too. But it's just, I'm glad to like know that, as you're saying, yeah, the internet is there. You could find a lot more stuff easier, and like, to be honest, as a kid and growing up in, I'm a '70s born kid, in the '80s and
Mhm.
early '90s and stuff, it was barely anybody that was, that I knew that was into this stuff that was black, but
Mhm.
I always took notes, even with like
That's
just
the other thing that the
artists.
kids have now that I love. Because I remember even back, in the early 2000s, there was like a couple of black kids in each school that was with it, and they was all in different grades.
Yep.
So like that's now these kids got their own little clubs at school and shit, little anime clubs, little punk clubs and shit. Like they really got like
It's dope.
community, and it's dope as hell. Like I
That's real.
always told myself I didn't want to grow up to be the old cranky motherfucker. It's like I wish we had that back in my day, and I do wish we had it back in my day, but I'm not grumpy about it existing now. Like I think
Yeah.
that shit is super dope. And like I said, you're gonna get a lot of great, authentic music and art out of these kids, and you're already getting it. I can't wait till it hits Memphis because we don't really have a black punk community like that.
Wow.
It's like us and one other band, so
Man.
so it's I can't wait to see what the youth of Memphis eventually do with punk rock and hardcore and the rest of that. I've seen some shimmers of some folks around. I be in the house all the time, so I don't know who's who that's below like 20, 28. So, but
Man.
I'm sure there's some kids in middle school or high school or college right now in a garage or in a studio somewhere getting it in, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Well, you guys are the ones cultivating it, and definitely cultivated it a lot with Negro Terror, and cultivating it now with Season Desist, man. And I really appreciate, you even doing this interview and just, sharing all this. And shoot, man, I appreciate it.
Man, no problem, dog. I always love my LA guys, my LBC guys. I was just
That's
listening to Vince. I was just listening to Vince Staples earlier.
wow. Yeah, he's from
Y'all
North
got a
Long
north
Beach.
north. We got a north too in Memphis. It's about the same as y'all's north. I'm sure.
Thanks,
That's
man.
where Juicy and them from.
Wow, that's a trip, man.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask this, and what I always ask this like towards the end of what we do.
Hmm.
First of all, your social media, and also what advice would you give just in general, as far as like just like what advice would you want to give to like just cats to kind of like think about or just kind of grow on, like,
Okay. Yeah. At what is mine? Is it C's Exorcist? Let's see. C's nope. It's C's and. All right. So C's and Desist on IG. My personal one is Rico, the acronym. If you want to see all the little crazy stuff I do that's not in this band, acronym with a K, not a C. Uh, and advice for people. My advice is get therapy. Like get therapy and take it, and if you're always happy at therapy, switch therapists. You're going to the wrong one.
mm,
Yeah. Like if you don't leave therapy feeling a little shitty about yourself, and not shitty about yourself as in bad self-esteem, I mean shitty as in maybe some of the choices you've made, maybe some of the life decisions you've made, maybe some of the life decisions you're making at present.
mm,
That's the best advice I can give because that's what's been helping me.
wow,
So get y'all some therapy. If you leave therapy happy all the time, switch therapists. And I will definitely say if you are black and can do it, get you a black therapist. Get somebody that understands us. Best thing I can say. And read a book and learn an instrument.
mm. Good stuff,
Yes,
man.
yes, even the old people. Read a book and learn an instrument.
Yep, I agree with that. Yep, cats can't think that it's the end of the road because they're like, I'm in my 50s and I know that I just scratched the surface.
Man, you
So
better pick up that bass and do something.
that's right. I'm still
Figure it
rocking
out.
madness. You got to do it.
Yes, sir.
We have to, man. Creativity doesn't leave. We just rock madness no matter what. Like it's
Man, the one thing I remember from the Pan African church I was in, because they had a school that was at it too, and it stays with me forever. They always used to say to us, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. If you
wow.
don't use it, you'll lose it. I have never stopped saying that since I was like 4 years old.
Mm,
And it's real.
man,
I do not
wow,
remember how to
it
play
is real.
saxophone.
Wow, man. Well, man, Rico, I really appreciate you coming on this platform. You're the first one of this particular series for this
Hey,
year.
number one.
Yep, number one Black History of Rock and Roll for Black History Month this year to 2026. I think this is maybe the third a fourth year that we've done this. I've been doing it for a few years now. Just our series, we do it twice a year, and
Right
this is
on.
like for 2026, man. You're the first one to kick it
I'm
off.
honored. I'm honored. Somebody call me Black History, Lord. Oh.
You are, man,
I
and we really
appreciate it.
appreciate what you guys, you and your homies, brought to the table, and still rocking that madness.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
man. We ain't gonna stop no time soon. There's too much shit going on.
yeah, man.
Revolution music comes in many different forms.
Create. That's right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, man. Peace and
All right,
blessings.
man.